So the students who are in the online, am I audible? Please confirm it once. All the students who are in the online, please confirm it. Now we will start the session now. So let us go for the continuation part of it. And the next topic I would like to introduce, which I told in the last session also. What is it? Right, functions. So let us start with functions concept, which is the most important, and it is one of the heart for Python programming. Okay. So please switch off your videos, all of you. Venkat Ram, please switch off your videos, guys, all of you. Yeah. So let us start with Surender. Surender. Okay. Actually, his name is Surender. So Surenden. So like that. So they will apply their intelligence on name also. So they would apply their intelligence on Python, means they will get the very good job. Good. So let us start. Surender, am I audible for you? Right. Yeah. Good. So coming to the point of it, functions we are going to talk about. Functions in Python. So let us move to the functions in Python. Yes. What we are going to discuss as a part of this Python in functions. Functions in Python index I just want to discuss. Very, very simple, ma. Look at this. Now, the first thing, what is the purpose of functions here? What is the purpose of functions here? Just I want to talk about it. Okay. First, functions of purpose of functions. First point, let me write the index so that you'll have very good clarity of this kind of concept. Functions of functions, purpose of functions. Next, definition of functions. Definition of function. Definition of function. What is the definition of function? Next, we need to understand about advantages of functions. Advantages of functions. Okay, carefully follow. Next, we need to understand about advantages of functions we are going to see. Next, we are supposed to understand what are the various parts of functions. Parts of functions we are going to talk. Next, we are going to talk about phases in functions. Phases in where? Functions. Phases in functions. We are going to talk about it. Next, we are going to talk about syntax for defining functions. Syntax for defining functions. Defining function. Next, we are going to talk about syntax for defining function and its explanation. And its syntax for defining function and explanation, followed by. Next, after that, approaches to define functions. Approaches to define functions. We are going to talk about it. Right? There are 4 approaches are there. We will talk about all these kind of approaches. Okay. Moreover, we need to understand about parameters and arguments. Parameters and arguments. Arguments. This is the one we need to understand. Next, we need to understand types of parameters. Types of parameters and arguments. Under that, we are going to talk about positional parameters. So deep concept we are discussing. Positional parameters and arguments. Positional parameters and arguments. B, I'm going to talk about default parameters and arguments. Next, we are talking about keyword parameters and arguments. Next, we are talking about variable length parameters and arguments. E, we are talking about keyword, variable length parameters, variable length parameters. We are talking about this. Next we will talk about lambda. After that, global global and local variables. Global and local variables. Global and local variables. Next we are talking about global keyword, and a global function. Super important this is. Global keyword and global function. Okay. Next we are going to talk about anonymous functions. Anonymous, or you can also call it as what? Lambda functions. Lambda functions is a special discussion about it. Anonymous and lambda functions. In every moment of it, programming examples will be common. In every topic, in every moment of it, concept of programming is common. Okay. Next we are talking about special functions. Special functions in Python. Special functions in Python. Special functions in Python. What are the special functions in Python, guys? Filter function with normal and anonymous functions. Normal and anonymous functions. Normal and anonymous functions. Next, P is called what? Map function. Map function with normal and what? Anonymous functions. C is called what? Reduce function. Reduce function with normal and this one. This is programming examples. Programming examples in every moment of it. This is a biggest index on the part of what? Functions. Even with this, people can say functions are over. With this, people will say functions are over. Because of that, we never get anything to it. That's why we must go for a detailed explanation I would like to give. Because I already told in the beginning of my sessions, any topic when we discuss completely in detail we will discuss. Because it's towards data science related Python, we are discussing it. Okay. Shall we start the discussion now? Yes. Now, and this is a main headings I just discussed it. Let us start with the introduction to functions. Carefully try to understand. From the level of origin, let me discuss. From the beginning of the content I would like to discuss. Introduction to functions. Introduction to functions. Or instead of giving this word introduction to functions, I would like to give you types of languages. I would like to start from there. Yeah. Look at that carefully. In the context of functions, start all of you. In the context of, first listen all of you, don't write anything. In the context of functions, we can classify the programming languages. We can classify the programming languages into two types. We can classify the programming languages into two types. They are A, unstructured programming languages. Unstructured programming languages. I will explain in detail. By the end of this class, we must be so expert in understanding the functions importance. Later programming I will build day by day. Okay. Now, so whether you learn data science level or artificial intelligence, anything in front of you, what will come? Functions will come in front of you. Those functions we must be extraordinary. So start carefully, listen, and it is dead easy. And I will just give you the complete explanation about the functions. You will understand like anything. Right. So to get the more and more knowledge in functions, we must have what? This type of importance is more important. Unstructured programming language, and next is called what? Structured programming languages. Sir, let us start First, what is meant by unstructured programming language? What is meant by unstructured programming language? I just want to talk about it. Unstructured programming language, what do you mean by that? I just want to discuss. Very simple, students. Basically, that is not necessary. Unstructured programming language is not necessary. But why I am introducing? Because functions concept are not there inside of a unstructured. Functions concept available from where? Structured programming languages onwards. Because of functions are not there in unstructured programming languages, what is the problem? What the problems are having? What are those problems? How can we solve it? What are the function we don't know so far, but we already used append function, insert function, union function, intersection function. These are all called what? Functions only. But we are learning how to develop our own functions. Simple. In unstructured programming languages, we don't have the concept of, in unstructured programming languages, we don't have the concept of what? Functions. We don't have the concept of functions. Sir, what is an example of unstructured programming language? The example of unstructured programming language is GW Basic. This was one language in olden days. Let us start immediately. What is the function importance? Let us start in unstructured programming language, how we used to write the coding and how it is overcome in the context of a structured programming language. Let me write the same wording under structured also. B point I am writing. Structured programming language. In structured programming languages, we have the concept of what? Functions. What are the examples, sir? C, C++, Java, Python, and next is called what? .NET. Any kind of language you take as on today, all of them are what? Structured. Under structured, object oriented, procedure oriented. Under object oriented and procedure oriented, dynamic, static. Static typed programming language, dynamically typed programming language. You come tell to me, C programming is what? Structured. All these languages are what? Structured. But C comes under what? Procedure oriented. C++, Java, .NET, Python comes under what? Object oriented. And Python belongs to both procedure oriented and then yes. Under if you come to see procedure oriented and object oriented, again there is a structured, dynamically typed and then statically typed. And C, Java, .NET are comes under what? Statically typed programming language. And Python comes under what? Dynamically. So if we go for one simple chart, what is a simple chart? Types of languages: structured, unstructured. Under structured, procedure oriented, object oriented. Under the dynamically typed, statically typed. So this is called original knowledge of the types of languages. So anyhow, in this context you come across. Now we have the concept of functions. Here we don't have the concept of functions. First of all, what is a function? Let us take one small example. Let me explain through some small paintbrush. Let us take, there is a common requirement. So let us take, I'm just trying to convince you. There is a common requirement. Carefully try to understand. Common requirement for number of students in online 256 students, and number of students in this place is some 150 people are there. Totally 400 students are there, for example. There is a common requirement for 400 students of what? What is the requirement? C students. There is a common requirement for 400 students regarding what? Adding two numbers. Adding, small example I want to take it because it's a new topic. Example is simple example I will take it. Adding two numbers. What is the common requirement? Adding of two numbers. For how many students? This is my requirement. For 400 students, adding of two numbers is going to be a common. Tell me, to add two numbers, student number one is doing. What is the student number one is doing? How the students are started their development? See students. Student one is doing student one dot py. Student one dot py. First student is writing the code as what, ma? Come on, tell me. You need to read it. Two values or not? A is equal to B is equal to C is equal to, yes or no? A plus B, take it as A plus B, A 10 and B 20. Of course, you are reading from the keyboard also. And you are printing that, print of what? You are writing sum of, and you are writing like this, you are printing it. You know that everything, I need not to say that, you know that entire part of it, dot, 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 dot. You know this entire story. Are you getting, students? Yes. How many lines of code you are writing, ma? One, first line, and the second line, think, third line, and then fourth line, and then fourth line. How many lines you are writing, ma? 4 lines of code you are writing. 4 lines of code you are writing. Student one is writing 4 lines of code. Just imagine what is happening. 4 lines of code is written. Excellent. Okay. There is one more student is coming. Student 2 is there. Student 2, I will just take it. Student 2 is also coming. Student 2 is also coming. Yes, I am writing here student 2. If one more student is coming in front of you. One more student is coming in front of you. What he is doing? He is also writing the same code. That means, what are you supposed to understand at this level? Student 1 has written the code already. What student 2 is doing? He is writing the code once again. To perform the operation of addition of two numbers, they need to write a piece of code. In our mobile or in our internet, anything you click, internally some piece of code is executing. Am I correct? Such a piece of code is performing some type of operation, and that code you may use, I may use, any number of people can use. We call it as what? Reusability. Spell out once. Reusability. Any type of operation you want to do it, you need to write some piece of code. Such a piece of code need to be reusing again and again many number of times. So we want to perform some operation by writing a piece of code. Such a piece of code to be reusable across any number of places. Across many number of places in my project or in program. Such a type of job can be done by the concept of what? Functions. Once again, I will repeat. Addition of two numbers is called basically what, ma? Addition of two numbers is basically called one operation or not? Is called one operation. Think carefully. There is no hurry at all. Nothing is there. We are not rushing out. Addition of two numbers is called one type of operation. To do this operation, what we need to do? Some piece of code you need to write. Some 4 lines of code I wrote it. And such a piece of code, how many students are supposed to use it, ma? How many students are using? 400 students are supposed to use the same code. But are they writing the same code again? Are they using the same code again and again? Are they reusing the same code again and again? What is meant by reusability? If my sir will define the code, I will just call it again and again without writing the code. But here what is happening? This is happening in which case? Unstructured programming languages. It is the scenario in which languages? Unstructured. In unstructured programming languages, we are using it. In unstructured programming languages, I am just saying the scenario. What is the common requirement for 400 students? Adding two numbers. Adding two numbers is what? Student number 1 has written how many lines? 4 lines of code is written and taken how many minutes? For example, 5 minutes of time is taken. How many minutes first student is taking? 5 minutes. Second student is doing what? He don't know. Second student don't know how to get the same code as it is without rewriting. What he is also doing? He is also writing how many lines? 4 lines of code. He is also writing 4 lines of code, also spending how many minutes of time? 5 more minutes of time. You just imagine how many students into how many lines? How many lines of code? 1600 lines of code. 400 people writing 4 lines of code every time, because they don't have the mechanism of what? Reusing the code. What do you mean by reusing? If I define the code, you need to call as it is without writing the source code. That is called what? Reusability. Reusability coming in our Python in many of the occasions in our Python programming. First initial reusability will be provided by the beautiful concept called what? Functions. Are you able to understand? So what is meant by reusability? If somebody has designed already, you are not going to redesign once again. You are just calling it without writing any source code from yourself. That is known as what? Reusability. Come on, a piece of code is written, operation is obtaining, plus I want to reuse the same code again and again, again and again. Such a type of thing is not happening in the case of what? Unstructured programming languages. In the case of unstructured programming languages, we are unable to reuse the code, plus we are unable to minimize our development time. Come on, imagine how many students are they able to reuse it? No. What they are doing? Writing the same code again and again, which is taking what time to develop? 400 into how many minutes? Is it not taking more than 2000 minutes is taking or not? Is it a waste of time? And the same code is writing again and again. Is it not called more development time is wasted? So here, because of unstructured programming languages and no concept of what? Functions, reusability. Reusability is coming only through the concept of what? Functions. Tell me, if anybody asks you tomorrow, in our programming of nowadays, the programming languages, all of them are providing what? Functions. What is the purpose of functions? To perform any type of operation. Compulsory we need to use what? Functions. Inside the function, who will be there? A piece of code will be there, which is reusable again and again in my project, again into some other project, again into some other mission, again into some other network. Wherever we like it, we can use the reusability. Again, I am going to repeat, understand? To perform any type of operation, we need to write a piece of code. Such a piece of code you can use, I can use, somebody else can develop it. You can use, I can use, somebody else can use. We are using the code which is already designed. We call it as a reusability. Somebody designed the code. We are using without writing from our side, without wasting our time. We call it as what? Reusability. There are so many reusable ways are there. I will show everything in the class. Modules concept, packages concept, inheritance concept. There are so many ways and means are there. I will explain each and everything. Once again, to perform any type of operation, we need to write a piece of code. And such a piece of code to be used again and again many times without writing the same code again and again, wasting of our time. Such a type of facility provided by which concept? Functions. So what is the purpose of functions? Functions are used for performing some operation, and it provides code reusability. Provides what? So inside the function, what is there? Some piece of code will be there. Are you able to understand? Right. Let us coming to that, and there is under no concept of functions. What are the limitations of? Come on, limitations of what? Unstructured programming languages. Come on, quickly. Limitations of which programming? Unstructured programming languages. Unstructured programming languages. Limitations, I am going to write it. So if you really understand me, how many students are writing the same code again and again? Many of the people are writing such a type of code, writing the same thing again and again. You tell me, what are the limitations you are getting? Number one, I will write it and just you confirm it. Application development time is application development time is, come on, more. Application development time is more. Am I correct? Why? You are writing, I am writing, somebody writing, everybody is writing. Application development time is more. Did you convince? Yes. Number two, next, one more kind of problem I am giving, one more kind of thing I am giving. Application development time is more. Next I am writing application code. Application development time is more. Application takes what memory space? Application takes more memory space. Or application memory space or takes no problem. Application takes what memory space? More memory space. Why more memory space? Suppose if all these people are developing one application, there they are writing the same code again and again. Such code if I upload, such project if I run it, same code was loaded how many times? 400 times. 400 into 4 lines, 1600 lines of main memory space is unnecessary wasted. More memory space is taking, definitely it will take what? More execution time. Are you getting, students? So if 400 people are using the same code, I will strictly instruct it what? Write the code how many times? Write the code how many times? One time. Rest of the 399 people, what they will do? Reuse it. Do you understand the word called reusing? What is meant by reusing? Somebody already developed and we are using without writing, without wasting of our time, without writing 4 lines of code. That is known as what? Reusability. Understand? Next, third point I'm writing, once application development time is, memory space is more, definitely application execution time also. Application execution time is what? Execution time is more. Execution time is more. Definitely more time is taking. Next, fourth problem I am writing, application, come on, execution time is more. Application performance is degraded. Am I correct? Degraded means what? Slowly coming down. Next, fifth one is called what? Application redundancy of the code, or I can write like this, redundancy. What is meant by redundancy means duplication. Duplication. That is called replication. That is called repetition of the code. Is what? More. These are the drawbacks of what? Drawbacks of which concept? If no concept of functions are there, these are the drawbacks we are getting seriously in our programming languages. To overcome these kind of problems, industry is always recommended to go for what? Functions. Are you getting? So are you understanding why I'm going for functions? Take one example. Deposit code you take. Deposit. Deposit is called what? One operation. SBI will use the same thing. HDFC will use the same thing. Everybody will use the same thing. Who is a boss for all this banking sector? For example, RBI. So RBI people has designed the deposit rules and all those things. Such a kind of function, all you people, SBI people, HDFC people, or you people are called what? Users of deposit. Will you reuse or will you define again? You will reuse. How many times it was defined? What are you doing? Reusing. Write once, call anywhere. Write once, call anywhere. That is a slogan of what? Functions. Come on, quickly tell me. Are you understanding the theme of the functions? Right. Now I am going for, I will write it. Now I am writing since unstructured programming languages. 1 minute ma, I will take it. Since unstructured programming languages does not contain which concept? Functions concept, and it has the following limitations. limitations. So those limitations are given something like this. Application development time is more and takes more memory space. These are called the severe drawbacks of unstructured programming languages. That's why unstructured programming languages has no existence nowadays in the programming areas. Understand? So which one is coming nowadays into the picture? Structured programming languages. In structured programming languages, what we have? What we have? Functions. Because of these functions are available. Come on, for my satisfaction, once again, what is the purpose of functions? Functions are meant for performing operation. First of all, you have to remember as it is. If you add your own sentences, I am not responsible. Functions are meant for performing. What is the English meaning of functioning? Functioning means working or not, na? Function means what? Operation. Work. English meaning of function is whether it is working or not. Function's purpose is what? To perform operation. And that operation you can use, I can use, everybody can use it. That is called what? Reusability. Tell me, what is the purpose of functions? The purpose of functions is to perform operation and provides code reusability. Say once all the complete line. Because of your sleepy words, I am not satisfied. The spell out according to me. The purpose of, stop it. Whatever I am saying, you spell out. The purpose of functions is to perform certain operation and provides code reusability. To whomever I ask this question, you have to repeat the same thing. Say once. The purpose of functions is to perform certain operation and provides code reusability. If you say your own thing, I am not responsible. Understand? Right. Come to the point of it. Since I will write it, I will take the same thing. So functions you are writing how many times, ma? How many times you are writing? One time, ma? More than one time, ma? One time. So I am writing since who is containing functions? Who is containing functions? Structured programming languages contains which concept? Which concept? Functions concept, and it has the following. It has the following advantages. It has the following advantages. What are the advantages, sir? I want to go for it. What are the advantages, sir? I want to go for it. One by one, I want to go for it. Number one is what? Application development time is less. Why less? Understand? How many times I am defining? How many times people are using? So it is known as what? I am developing one time. You are not at all spending even 1 second also. It is nothing but saving of your development time. Next, please. When I am going to upload my entire code into the main memory, it is taking the memory space one time only, and the rest of the times you are just getting the results only. That is nothing but what again? Application takes memory space. Application takes, what is that? Less memory space. Here I am writing less memory space. Application execution time is what? Obviously, very good, less. And application performance is what? Less memory space, less execution time always gives you what? Enhanced. Enhanced. Nothing but what? Improved. Enhanced. Nothing but what? Improved. Enhanced means what? Improved. I will write here improved. And the redundancy of the code is what? Minimized. Minimized. How many times I want to write? That many times only I'm writing. Many of the times I'm not writing again and again. These are the advantages of which concept? Which are available in which languages? Right. Now, today we understand Python is which type of language? Structured programming language. Python provides which concept? Functions. Did you understand the meaning of functions? What is the definition of function? What purpose of function? Sorry, purpose of function is to perform certain operation and provides code reusability. Okay. Right. The students who are in the online, are you able to understand? Are you able to understand? The students who are in the online, are you able to understand? Yes. So, coming to the point of it, next continuation part of it, I want to continue. Let us coming to the next discussion. I am going to enter into the introduction to functions. Now I am entering into introduction to functions. Let us start. Types of languages I gave you. Introduction to functions. Let's start with it. Introduction to functions. Simple. So, what is the purpose of function? The first statement is that only the purpose of functions, the purpose of functions concept in any programming language, in any programming language is that to perform, I will write in the bracket, to perform what? Certain operation, and provides what? Code reusability. Code reusability. Code reusability. This is called what? Purpose of functions. Good. Now I want to go for what is the definition of function. What is the definition of function also I want to go for it. Purpose is different. Definition is different. Let me go for it. Let us take once again this area. Let us take ATM project. Let us take ATM project. Our total goal is what? Any of the application is coming in front of you, we must able to do it only by using functions. See students, any type of operation you do in any programming language, you have to do only with the functions. Without functions, no operation can be done. Take this as what? ATM project. A project is nothing but we can't write everything into one file name. Can you write everything in one file name? You can't. You need to have what? Different file names. Some hundreds and thousands of files will be there in our project. Let us take the first operation here. Number one, what is the first operation here? Something like, deposit, for example. Second operation is called what? Withdraw. Third operation is called what? Balance inquiry. And next fourth operation is called what? Mini statement. Mini statement. And the next fifth one is called what? Pin generate. And the sixth operation is called what? Sixth operation is called what? Funds transfer. Next seventh operation is called what? Mobile number registration. For example, mobile number registration. And eighth is called what? Something like fast cash. Next is called what? Something like what? Something like loan facility. Like that we are having many more operations. Like that we are having miscellaneous operations. Like that I am just taking it. So just carefully try to understand what I am trying to say. These are all called what, ma? In the ATM project, deposit is one operation, withdraw is one operation. These are all called different operations or not? That means the ATM project decomposition is nothing but what? Decomposed into smaller pieces, where you can easily maintain the code and you can able to write the code very effectively. You can't write the total code into under one file name only. Such a bigger projects you are decomposing into very smaller pieces. Such a smaller pieces you are writing the code for that small work only. Such a type of small work is considered as one operation. That operation in our Python in any language is called what? One function. Are you able to follow? Is called one type of function. So what is deposit actually? Operation. When you click on deposit, what is calling internally? Function is calling. Which function is calling? Deposit function. Think programmatically. Next I am going for which one? Withdraw is called what? Operation. Operation can be treated as what? Function. Next is called balance inquiry. Is an operation. It will be taken as what? Function. Next, mini statement. Generating mini statement is called what? Function. Next is called what? Pin generate is called what? Function. Like that, I will go for funds transfer is an operation. It is called a function. Next is called what again? Mobile number registration is called a function. Fast cash generation is called what? Function. Next is called a loan facility. Loan kind of things is called what? Function. Miscellaneous operations, many more functions are available. Now tell me if you really follow me. This is my main program. ATM project is my main program. It is my main program. Main program. Under the main program, deposit, withdraw, etc. are called what? Subprograms are not? Subprogram. Subprogram of the main program is called always function. Take C programming, printf, scanf, main, etc. These are all parts of my program or not? Subprogram of main program is called function. General introduction part of function is what? Subprogram of main program is called function. One more is called what? A part of main program. A part of main program is also called what? Function. Human being, you take it. Human being. A human being is only one component? No. Eyes, ears, nose, tongue, brain, heart, legs, hands. What they are all called? Each one will do its own job or not? Each one is going to do its own job. So human being is one project, is containing different parts. Each part will do separate operation. Like that in my real-time projects also. When we are going to take up, each one is having its own operation. Such a type of operation is simply called as what? Function. So coming to the definition part, I'm going to say, what is the definition of function? Definition of function. Function definition is different. Purpose is different. That's what I'm giving you. Definition of function, I'm going to talk about it. Yes, can anybody can say what is the definition of function, students? Come on. A part of main program is called what? Function. Is called a function. One more definition I will write it. What is the another definition? Subprogram of which program? Main program is called, come on, function. First of all, is the definition is clear? Definition is clear or not clear? Clear. You take any type of website, you're having lot of pull down menus. Each menu, when I click, some operation is executing. That is treated as always what? One function. One function. So how to define such type of function in our Python? I'm going to explain now. And next, let me enter into the purpose of function. We understand. Definition of function we understand. It is containing some piece of code which is executed whenever you are going to call it. So let us go to the next types of functions. I'm going to talk about it. Types of functions. Types of functions I'm going to talk about it. How many types of functions are there? Already you are aware of it. Tell me, print function, type function, so many number of functions we discussed so far. Int of, float of, bin of, hex of, argt of, so many functions, list functions, set functions, tuple functions, dict functions, so many things. All those functions you defined, already defined. So they are known as predefined functions or not? We are developing our own functions also. That is known as what? Programmer defined functions we can call. How many functions? Two types. One is predefined functions and one more is come on, we have two types of functions. Two types of functions. They are first one is called what? Predefined, also called as what? Built-in functions we can call. Built-in functions. Second one is called what? Programmer defined. So somebody will say user defined functions. It's also somebody will say custom defined functions we can call. Custom defined functions we can say. How many types of functions are there? Two types of functions are there. One is called what? Predefined functions or built-in functions. One more is programmer or user defined functions. So let me give you the definition of these predefined functions, then I will move forward. So I'm saying Predefined functions are those. Predefined functions are those which are which are already developed, which are already developed by developed and available in where? Available in Python API, Python API, and they are reused by Python programmers. Reused by what? Python programmers for dealing with universal purposes. Universal purpose. Universal purpose. Like I want to print the data on the console. I will use which function? Print function. I want to convert some value, decimal value into binary function. I will use which function? Bin function. I want to find the union of two set of values. I will use which function? Union function. Common elements I want to find out. Which function I will use? Intersection function. Example I will use it. Example I will use it. Int function, float function. If I go on writing, we know more than 100 functions so far. Whether you remembered or not, I don't know, but I already told you in the class. Tuple function, list function, so many number of functions I said. Comma what? Append function. Next is called what? Print function, comma id function, type function, etc. These are all comes under what functions? Predefined functions we can call. Understand, students? Right. Similarly, today I want to go for which functions now? Programmer defined functions I want to go for. Simple. Let me define this. And I will move forward how to develop it quickly. Programmer defined functions are developed by Python programmers. Developed by Python programmers and reused by other Python programmers. And they are meant for performing which operation? Common operations. Which operations? Right. 400 students want to do addition of two numbers. Common operation only for 400 people. Not for all the people of Python programmers. Universal operation means these kind of things. In my project, some operation is there suitable for only 50 to 20 people, for example. That time I will go for which function I will define? Programmer defined function I will define. Shall we go for next? Yes. Now I want to go for what? Examples if you want me to give it, which we are going to discuss in the class again and again. Deposit is called one function I want to define. Withdraw is called one type of function I want to generate. Next is called a balance inquiry, one type of function I want to generate. I want to generate a gen OTP. I want to generate. Like that, I just want to go for developing my own functions. How to do all these things in the classroom, we will take care of it. How many types of functions are there? Spell out all of you. Two types. One is called what? Predefined and programmer defined. What is the purpose of functions, please? Is that to perform certain operation and provides code reusability. If you remember this purpose, then only you can understand perfectly. Otherwise, difficult. What is the definition of function? A part of main program is called a function, or subprogram of main program is called. Yes. Now, how to develop our own functions in our Python programming is our discussion today. So, introduction to functions. Now I am coming to syntax for defining the function in Python. Shall I move? Yes. Let's go to the next discussion here. Syntax for defining. Now I am going to syntax for developing or defining. Which one? Developing programmer defined functions. Syntax for defining programmer defined functions. I'm just going to take it. Very, very simple. Let's watch this now. I'm going to take it. Syntax for defining the programmer defined functions. Let's start this. See this carefully. I'm going to enter inside of it. See, and before that, I just want to give you some small terminology here. Because programmatically slowly I'm coming to this. Let me take one small paintbrush again. Look at. So have you heard about this concept functions in mathematics? Have you heard about in mathematics functions? Boys, not saying anything. Right. Now I'm coming to the second discussion of this mathematics level, because I'm going to come in any time when I'm going to write the syntax. First, I need to discuss the mathematical thing, because IEEE 754, IEEE base papers are coming from mathematics only. From mathematics functions only, syntax has been derived. So let us talk about the syntactical approach here. Everybody like this concept of mathematics. Even a dull student also who don't know anything about the mathematics, they are aware of it. Have you heard about it or not? Yes. Let us start here. Consider, I'm giving one question for you. All of you should understand and need to answer my questions. Consider, what is that? f of x is equal to x comma y. Let it be x comma y is equal to x plus y. F of x comma y is equal to f of x comma y is equal to x plus y. Okay. Find, there only I am writing. Find f of first bit f of 2 comma 3. Second bit I am saying f of 5 comma minus 6, etc. etc. This is my question. This is my question. Be careful. This is my question here. I just want to go for solution here. Solution here. Already you are ready to tell the answer, but I don't want the answer. I want something different here. X comma y is equal to x plus y. X plus y. Now I am asking the first bit I am going to say f of 2 comma 3. I am writing spaciously. Now I am asking a question. What is this is called? And what is this is called? You're all mathematics students. You already done in the school days. Now I am asking a question. What is this is called? And what is this is called? Can anybody can answer this? First you answer this. What is this? Function. Very good. What is this is called? BTech is over. School days also over. Tell me. Students in the online. Anybody else? Expression. Okay. Venkatram. Expression. Okay. So is it called expression? Okay. Nirali. Parameters. Okay. Anything else? Right. That's why you need to. Okay. Relational function. Okay. Gaurav Rai. Relational function. Okay. Anything else? Okay. Students in the offline. Anybody can say what is this one? What is this is called? This part I am asking. Last and final. This is called what? Right. Out of order. Now I am saying, come on. Function definition. Spell out. If we don't know, when I am saying, you need to spell out. Come on. Spell out. Function. Yes. This is called function call. Spell out. Function call. Function call. This is defined how many times? How many times? How many times they are using? Many times. I already told you. Functions provides what concept? Reusability. Functions are doing operation and provides what? Reusability. Start once again. What is this is called? Come on. Function. What is this f of 2 comma 3? Function. Tell me one more paintbrush. I will take it. Functions are meant for what purpose? Functions are meant for what purpose? Doing the operation or not? What is my operation here? You see, f of x comma y is equal to what? X plus y. And what are you passing to this function? What are you passing to this f here? Input are you passing or not? Input you are passing. What is the input you are passing? Input you are passing. What is my input, ma? 2 comma 3 input. What is my function is doing here? What is my function is doing? Processing the input or not? Are you following? Functions are meant for what? Performing operation. To perform an operation, what is required? Input is required. If you don't know the concept, at least you spell out what I am saying. Every function is meant for what? Performing. To perform an operation, what is required? Input is required. Who will take input? Functions. Functions will do what? Process the input or not? And gives what? Always it gives output. Always it gives output. Union, you take it. Union. S1 dot union of S2. S1 dot union of S2. What is that? S1 and S2 are called inputs. It is giving the interest, integrating all the elements and giving another result or not? Functions are meant for what? Performing. To do operation, what is required? Inputs. What function will do internally? Operation, process, and gives. This is a universal terminology. Why people don't know programming? Because of lack of knowledge and functions only. So giving you what here? Giving you what here? Output. Every function compulsory takes what? Every function compulsory do what? Process. Output కాదు. మీకు చెప్పాలంటే చాలా కష్టం అసలు. హిమాలయ పర్వతాలకు వెళ్ళి రావాలి అసలు. It's very difficult. I'm saying here. Every function takes compulsory what? And it will do what internally? That means it will execute some code or not? Execute some code. That means it do some process and gives what? This is a universal thing. Java you take it, Python you take it, anything you take it, that is done internally. This is the information from IEEE background of our Python language I am giving. Is a PEP information I am explaining. PEP information I am explaining. Listen, don't sleep. So number one phase is what? Every type of function will take what? That is the first phase. Second phase is doing what? Huh? Every function definitely will give you what? Output. These are called phases. What these are all called? Spell out. Phases in where? Functions. Last and final for my satisfaction. Every function will take what? Every function will do what? Every function gives. Come on to the previous one. Previous screen you come. What is this f of 2, 3 called? What is this f of 2, 3 is called? Function. What is this f of x is equal to x plus y is called? Function. Okay. What is the result is coming? What is the result is coming? 5. You don't know that also. You don't know that? What is the result? 5. How that 5 is coming? Can you say to me? Say. Come on. F of 2, 3 is called what? Function. What is f is called? Only f. Function name. Spell out. What is a 2, 3 called? Input. Say. Function with input is known as what? Function. Okay. Whenever you call the function, your PVM will carry this 2 and 3 to the function f or not? And it will preserve in where? X and how many inputs you are passing? How many variables I need? 2. So this x and y is holding my input or not? And do what? Execute the code. A piece of code is containing inside the function x plus y. 2 plus 3 is going to return the value back to the function call, which is called what? 5. So it is designed by what? Some x person. This is reused by another person. Next, one more example you take it. Some more example you take it. F of second bit 5 comma what? 6. 5 comma minus 6. What is f of 5 comma minus 6? Speak ma, speak, don't sit quiet and come. Function. Whenever you call the function, where it will go? Function definition. Whenever you call the function, control goes to where? What is x? X and y. 5 and minus 6. 5 plus of minus 6. What is the result is coming back? Right. So the result is called what here? Minus 1. Understand? Now I am asking one question. Third one. G of G of 3, 4, comma 5. What is your opinion? Is it valid or invalid? This is going to give you error. This is going to give you error. What is that error? Name error. What is this is called? Function call. What is this? Spell out. Function require what? Function definition. But is it having? No. That's why we are getting name error. You are calling, but what is not there? Definition is not there. That's why every function call compulsory require what? Function definition. Otherwise you will get which error? Everything I am giving. This is called a minimum requirement to understand functions. You take any Python student on any batch, they don't know anything about functions. That's why they don't know Python programming. So every function call require what? Function definition. Because I want to go for very detailed part I am explaining. That's why I'm going to discuss these things in detailed part. So if I discuss up and downs and all, I don't want to go for this much discussion in the class. Come on to the point of it. Function definition will exist how many times? Function definition exists how many times? Okay, function calls can exist how many times? Any number of times a function call can take. Am I correct or not? Function calls can exist how many times? Function calls can exist how many times? Function definition, right? So once again, because by seeing some of the students, I'm getting a doubt whether they are getting or not. F of x is equal to x into x, x into x. Tell me f of 2, f of 2. Again I am writing f of 3, f of 4, f of 5, f of minus 6, f of minus 6, so on. I am taking. Start all of you carefully. Start all of you now. What is f of x? This is called function. Very good. Function definition. What these are all called, ma'am? Function definition is defined how many times? How many times you are calling? That indicates what? Write once, define once, and call any number of times. Am I correct? Tell me. Now I am slowly going. How many parts are there in functions? 2 parts. Parts of what? Functions. How many parts? 2 parts. One is called what? Function definition. One more is called what? Function calls. This is called part A. This is called part B. This is called part A. This is called part B. Slowly coming to the point of it. What is happening? What is this f of 2? Function call, function call, function call, function call. What is this 2 is called? Where is the input is going to store it in? This x is called formal parameter. First time I am introducing the terminology. I am going to the syntax now. My interest is to go for what? Syntax. I am ready to write the syntax. Because blindly I don't want to rub on your brain. I want to explain in detail from the source of subject. What is this 2 is called? First of all, what is this f of 2? Function. Every function call will take input or not? That input is called what here? 2. 2 is going and storing in where? X. X is called what? Formal parameter. Spell out. It is also known as formal variable also, dummy variable also, dummy parameter also we can call. So habituate one terminology first. Which parameter it is? Formal. What is f is called? Function name. What is x is called? Formal. What is x into x is called? Logic. To process my input. Logic. To process my input. A function is meant for performing the operation. To perform the operation, some piece of code is required or not? Such a piece of code is called logic. To perform my inputs. To define a function. How many parts are required, my dear students? One is called what? Function name. Spell out. Second one is, and the third one is what? Function logic. Spell out. To define a function, how many things are required? Number one, function name, formal parameters, function. Beautiful, beautiful. Let me show my previous screen. Let me show my previous screen. What is f is called in the yellow part, intersection part? What is f? Function. Beautiful. This is called one part. X and y are called what? Formal. Yes, x plus y is called what? Logic. Tell me guys, to define a function by yourself, how many parts are required? Number one, function name. Finished. To define the function in our Python, I will use a keyword called def. What is it? Yes. Shall I start? Yes. Last and final, I am asking a question. To define a function, how many parts are required? Number one, function name, function calling. Logic. When you say function calling means I am getting fear for it. First one, function name. Right. It's a base. On the base, I can construct any number of floors. Shall I? Yes. Now, this is syntax, guys. If you really follow me, if you want, I can define the same thing in the function, in the this entire thing. Because if I write on the paint screen, it will be nice. I felt that's why I will go for this. In the paint screen, I will explain for you. This entire thing I will go for in the paint screen. Yeah. Syntax for defining. Whenever you forget the functions concept, I will open this beautiful diagram so that you can follow me carefully. A big diagram, big explanation I will give you. This is my main window. Look at all of you. Now I am defining. To define a function, I will use which keyword? Come on quickly. DEF stands for definition. Which definition? That's it. What I am writing? Observe it. Function underscore name. It is after all one variable name. I will take it as in place of function name. What I will write it? Deposit. I will write it as what here? Withdraw. Withdraw. I will write it as what? I should not write 1, 2, 3, A, B, C. It is invalid variable name, na? Already rules and regulations we discussed it. So that's why I'm going for what? Come on. Function name. Function name. So about function name also I will tell you so many things. Every variable name in Python is called what? Object. Did you understand that? Every variable name in Python is behind object. Who is there? Function name is also one variable name. That is also called object only. Object of which class? Function class. Which class? Yes. L is equal to list of. L is which type? List type. T is equal to tuple of. T is which type? S is equal to set of. Which type? Set type. D is equal to dict of. D is which type? Dict type. Blue shirt. Blue t-shirt. Sleeping like anything. When I'm shouting like anything, you are sleeping like anything. Come on. Function name. Function name is also one variable name. Which is of which type? Function. Class function. I will show you that. Because everything I don't want to say in one line only. Okay. See, DEF is a keyword. Function name is after all one type of variable name. DEF. What I am doing, my dear students? List of formal parameters. Spell out, please. Formal parameters. List of formal parameters. If any. I am writing the word if any. Don't worry about that word if any. What is the first thing? Tell me all of you. What is this now? DEF is a keyword for development of programmer defined functions. What is the function name? Valid variable name. Treated as a name of the function. Treated as a name of the function. What is the list of formal parameters are meant for? List of formal parameters are meant for what? Receiving the inputs. Receiving the inputs. Gone, I'm going out of order. Again, go. What is this X here? Going to this place again, you see here. What is this XY here? Why do you use formal parameters? To receive my inputs? From where? Function calls. Compulsory question in the interview point of view. What is the purpose of parameters? Parameters of so many types in Python. First time you are coming across the parameters. What is the parameter here I am using? Formal parameters. Why do you use formal parameters? To receive the input from the function calls. Say once again, what is this list of formal parameters? Why do you use list of formal parameters? To receive the inputs from, right. Once again, what is the first keyword? DEF. Next, function name. Next, list of, okay, indentation. Indentation. Do you know indentation in my class? Good. Indentation. Indentation means definitely how many parts we'll give? 4 spaces. Okay, beautiful. I am going to write what here? Statement 1. I am writing what? Statement 1. Next is called what? Statement 2. Statement 2. So on. I am writing what here, students? Statement N. Statement N. These are all called what? Block of statements. The indentation block of statements, okay ma, but these are comes under what? Function logic. Which logic this is? Function logic. I am writing here function logic. Function logic provides a solution for client requirement. Am I correct? Client requirement. What do you want? Set S1 dot union of S2. Two inputs are taking and then doing the logic inside. It is integrating all the elements or not? My requirement is what? Providing the solution for union of two sets. So internally some piece of code is executing or not? Such a piece of code is called statement 1, statement 2, statement n. We are going to define very perfectly. Are you okay? Tell me, what is the first part of the function? What is the keyword? Next one. Next please. List of. Okay, next is called what? Next is called what? Function logic. How many things are required to define my function? 4. What is the first one? DEF. Next, function name. Next, list of. Right. This is known as what? This complete part is known as what? Function definition. Say, because I am going to tell you a lot of things inside of it, if you understand me. This is known as what? Function definition. Spell out. Function. Okay. Look at that carefully. Function definition. I will write it here. Function definition. Function definition. So nowadays people don't know how many parts are there in the functions also. Function definition. In the function definition, how many points are there? 4. First one, DEF. Next, list of formal parameters. Next, okay. In that, I am going to show you one more mechanism. This is called function heading. 4 are there. That 4 I am going to separate once again, because this is useful to me in my object-oriented programming. And no language on spot we can understand. If you continuously concentrate, then only you can understand. Because I am observing some of the people listening and then sleeping and waking up like that. I can't do anything else because no mechanism is there with me. This is known as what here? Come on, spell out. Function heading. Spell out. Function heading. This is called a function heading. I am just writing here function heading. I will indicate one marker. I will indicate. This is called a function heading. I am saying that function heading. I am saying that function heading. This is. So I am going to say function heading. So function heading. This is called. Something happened. So coming to this area, I say here function heading. Are you able to follow? Yes. Now this is one more thing you see. There is one more thing I want to write it. This is called what you know. The another part is there inside of it. One more is there inside of it. This part is called what? Function body. Spell out ma. function body, that is called function body. I will write it here, function body. I'm writing function body. This is called function body. So I'm writing there function body. This is called function body. To define a function, I need to have how many things? Two things. One is called what? Function heading, and one more is in the function heading. There are three things are there. One is called what? DEF, function name, list of formal parameters, and the function logic is present inside the. Why I am saying this wording is because the certified international terminology, if you go to the classes, objects, because Python is also one of the object oriented programming. So I have to teach this concept of functions common for all the total topic. Say once again, function definition contains how many parts? Two parts. Already it is there in front of you. If you go for any confusion, I am not responsible. In front of you only it is available. Function definition contains how many parts? One is what? Function heading, function body. You take an example of yourself. You are having head plus you are having body. Human being is a collection of two parts, head plus a body. Am I correct? Right. And don't say, sir, other parts are also there, means I am not talking about that, and you take care of this only. Function definition contains how many parts? One is function heading. But the function heading starts with DEF, function name. Yes, very good. Now I am writing here. In this point, I am writing one small thing. It is an optional purely. What is that part is? While I am defining the function in my real-time programming, I need to give some description of my function. Suppose if I am writing sum of two numbers, I need to write some comments about the function. This function is meant for performing some addition of two numbers, and it takes this parameters, it is returning this. I need to write some description about that. That is called what? Within the triple double quotes, we call it as a doc string. Spell out, stands for document string. Documentation purpose I just want to take up. Did you understand this word? Doc string. Spell out. That is optional to write. It is not a mandatory to write it. It is optional to write, not a mandatory. Optional to write. It is not mandatory to write it. Are you understanding? How many parts are there in my entire definition of the function? Two parts. One is function heading. In the function heading, function body, what are the words you spell out? DEF, doc string, block of statements. Right. Can I read the explanation? Function heading contains what things? I just want to know once again. DEF. Stop. Why do you use list of formal parameters? To accept or to store the inputs coming from function calls. Right. Shall I read the description now? Yes, description I am going to write it. So let me talk to online students once. The students who are in the online are able to follow? Chennaya, function declaration, that are all called not a Python terminology. It's a old terminology. Don't go to your own direction, please. Just follow me carefully. Function declarations will not be there in the programming at all in Python. Right? Take care of it. Right? Is it understandable to all of you? Take care of this. Follow this terminology carefully. Now I am going to give you the explanation. Come on to the point of explanation. Carefully follow. Now I am going to start with. Yes. Now let us start with the explanation here. Every line I want to give you what exactly which I want to give you here. So first point I am going to give you. It's totally 6 to 7 points I will explain. After that, I will go for the programming examples. What is DEF? DEF is a keyword. DEF is a keyword used for defining what? programmer defined functions. No continuous knowledge, only shortcut you are taking and hanging over it. DEF is a keyword. DEF is a keyword used for defining what functions? Programmer defined functions. Programmer defined, right. Second point I'm going to talk about it. Second point. What is the second point? Function name. Function name is a valid variable name. Is a valid variable name. Valid variable name and treated as name of the function. Name of the function. Name of the function. Name of the function. Name of the function is also called one object. That object will contain what? Class. What is the name of the class? Function. I'll show you that also. Name of the function. Next, I would like to go for writing the description for all the points here. Next is called third point. Third, list of formal parameters. I'm writing what? List of formal parameters. List of formal parameters represents list of variable names. List of variable names used in where? Function heading. Used in where? Function heading. Used in function heading. Already you know we are using in function heading, and they are used for what purpose? Holding or what? Storing. Holding or storing the inputs coming from, storing the inputs. Inputs coming from where? Function call. Function calls. Function calls. Function calls. So coming from the function calls, right? So list of formal parameters represents list of variable names. List of variable names used in where? Function heading. Function heading. Both of you stand up once. Middle. Yes. What is the definition of function? Sit down. What is the definition of function? Performs. Is it correct? What I am asking and what you are saying. When you are coming to the class, concentrate. Next, stand up. What are the parts of functions? Without knowing anything, sitting in the class, chit-chatting. I am observing from the beginning. I am very much careful faculty here. Don't come, don't waste your time. Sit down. Right. List of, or when you come to the class, try to utilize a valuable time. Fulfill the dreams of the parents. If you don't concentrate, I'm not using a single NP. But when you are going wrong direction, my heart will not permit. Because I'm observing from the beginning onwards. Because I'm unable to digest when you are doing that. No problem for me. Go, what is there? But see that our parents, why they send. Right. So list of formal parameters represents list of variables names used in where? Yes. And they are used for what? Holding or storing the inputs. Coming from where? Yes. Next. So fourth point I'm going to write it. Fourth point. What is the fourth point? Dark string. Dark string. Dark string. Dark string. What is that? You stand up once you stand up. Yes. What are these things? Don't tell everybody. That highlighting, now what they are called? I just highlighted, right? What they are called? No? Dark string. Whatever I highlighted. What they are called? What it is called? What they are called? Triple? Yes. అర్థమైందా ఇప్పుడు మనం వింటే ఏమవుతుంది వినకుంటే ఏమవుతుంది అని అర్థమైందా తెలుగులో చెప్తున్నా మీకు నాకు ఎంత ఎమోషనల్ అయితే చెప్తానో అర్థం చేసుకోండి కూర్చోండి ట్రిపుల్ డబుల్ కోట్స్ వై డు యూస్ ఫర్ మల్టీ లైన్ స్ట్రింగ్ ఆర్గనైజేషన్ when my student is going wrong I can't bear it But even if you go, I can't do anything. It is not there in my hands. So understand my emotions, please. Triple double quotes. Why do you use for multi-line? When I'm writing comments in multi-line, multiple lines, I will use what? Triple double quotes. Along with that, what I can also write? Triple single quote also I can write. Single quote, double quote, triple double quotes, triple single quotes. Actually, I don't ask questions to girls. I never ask questions to girls. Did I ask so far? When I'm unable to bear it, then only I will ask question directly. You can understand, please. Right. So doc string represents what? Comment or description or document string. I can write document string, which gives, which provides or which gives, provides description, description, description of the functionality of the function. I hope you are understanding. Functionality of function. What the function is doing, I just want to describe it. What the function is doing, I want to describe the functionality of the function. That is called what? Doxing. And it is optional to write. And it is optional to write it. But it is recommended to write it. It is recommended to write. Optional only, but it is recommended to write it. Right. Next, fifth point is what? Come on, ma. Statement 1, I will write it. Of course, you understood that. Statement 1, comma, statement 2, comma, so on. What is this? Statement N represents what? Yes. Represents block of or set of what, ma? Executable statements. Executable statement. Set of executable statement meant for performing some operation called what? Business logic we can call. Which logic? Business logic. And it provides solution for what requirement? Client requirement. This is called the another operation I just want to explain. So I'm writing here. So this is called what? Statement 1, statement 2 represents set of executable statements meant for performing some operation called which logic? And it provides a solution for client requirement. That is called block of statements. Let me write it, ma. Sixth point I am going to write it. It's a beautiful point. Inside the function definition, I will use some extra variables. I will use it. Simple. When you are coming to the class, you are bringing the bag permanently. When you go to some market or some vegetable market, you are taking some temporary covers or not. Like that, I am using inside the function body. We will use some special variables to hold my temporary results. We call it as the local variables. Which variables? Inside the function heading, I am using some variables. What they are called? Inside the function heading, we are using some variables. We call it as what? See there. List of formal parameters represents list of variable names used in where? Variables used in function heading are called what? Formal parameters. Why do you use? For storing the inputs coming from where? Inside the function body also, we will use some more variables to store my temporary results. We call it as the local variables. How many variables so far? 2. Formal variables. Global variables also will come. Actual variables will come. Instance variables will come. Class level variables will come. So many variables will come. If you don't concentrate, you can't understand anything. If somebody asks me, what is the variable? I will define the variable. I will tell types of variables also. Interviewer will feel is an expert in Python. A variable meaning is there. Formal variables, local variables, instance variables, global variables, local variables, class level variables, static variables. Wonderful answers you have to give. How it is possible? Only with concentration. If you don't read in this student time, if you become an employee, if you try to come to Ameripet and on learning, impossible to get it. Losing the job coming, losing the job coming. How many days you will come to this Ameripet? Learn perfectly. Go. Understand? Come on. The variables used in the function body are called. And why do you use? To store my temporary results in the function body. I'm writing the variables, very, very important. The variables used in where? Function body. Function body are called what? Are called what? Local variables. And they are used for storing temporary results. Temporary results. Temporary results of the function. Temporary results of the function. That's it. So now I am saying that what? Is it okay? How many variables we are using? 2. One is function heading, some variables I am using. Function body I am using some more variables. Function heading, which variables are called? Formal variables, formal parameters. Variables used in the function body are called. Why do you use local variables? To store my temporary results. Why do you use formal parameters? To store the inputs coming from the function call. Understand? Which variables will hold my inputs coming from function call? Formal. Which variables will hold the temporary results of my function? Yes. This purpose, if you forget now, you are out of order. The values of formal parameters, the values of local parameters can be accessed in the corresponding function definition only, but we cannot access in other place. Simple, mom. In my packet, 10 rupees is there. Who can access this local value? Me only. Your packet is containing 20 rupees. Who can access the 20 rupees? You can access. Can I come and take from your bag 20 rupees? No. That means as another function, I cannot access your local value. You cannot access my local value. Your formal parameter, your local variable can be accessed by you only. My local parameters, my formal parameters to be accessed by me only. You have a doubt, sir. For both of us, one common value is required, sir, which is called a global variable. What is it? I will explain global variable so nicely. I will explain everything point to point. I will explain. When I am covering this much of deep means, you can understand the intention of this Python, how rigorously we are entering. Now I am writing the values of, final point I am writing, my dear students, the values of, come on, formal parameters and what? Local variables can be accessed inside of corresponding function definition only. Body or anywhere else, function definition only, but not possible to access in the context of where? Another function definition. I hope you are understanding what I am talking. Are you okay, students? Yes. So see this is comes under one full-fledged explanation with the syntax. And I am just one step ahead of doing what? Examples. Is it okay today? Do you remember the syntax? Tell me the syntax once without seeing. Def, function name, list of formal parameters, doc string, statement 1, statement 2, statement n. So who can tell in the class? Chewing gum eating, one student, stand up. Chewing gum eating, right? Why? Any minerals, any vitamins? It's a waste of time. Headache will come by eating that. Say definition. definition? DEF. Huh? Okay. Don't eat while you are saying. List of formal parameters. Colon. If you stop eating, you can say correct answers. Keep one side. Keep it one side. Okay. Don't take inside. Okay. Oh, start. Dark stringer. Beginning onwards. DEF good. Function name good. List of formal parameters. Okay. Indentation symbol. Dark string. Statement 1, statement 2, n number of statements. N number of statements are called what? Set of executable statement. Provide solution for client requirement. Doc string. Use functionality of the function. Description of the function. Formal parameters used to hold the inputs coming from the function. Function name is after all one variable name. DEF is a keyword used to define the function. Don't eat chewing gum. It is not good for health. Eat Python. Sleep with Python. Yes or no? Yeah. In 9 o'clock also one student is there. He is also eating one day. One day I thought, what are you eating? He taken inside quickly by fearing. So, okay. So, second day also he came. When I am seeing he is not eating and he is eating. When I ask a question, definitely that word has to come out with lips, with the teeth. So that is moving inside. I observed it. So I asked, next day also he is eating. Are you eating or not? First I asked, are you eating? He said, no, sir. When I concentrate, I will find out what is the depth of it. So he is eating. Next day he said, sir, tomorrow onwards I will not eat. Sir, before the class I will eat and come, he said. Let it be. That is their habit. Is it your habit? Don't eat. Okay, tomorrow onwards, no eating of chewing gum. What do you eat tomorrow onwards? Don't tell lies. Don't eat. Okay? Right, sit down. Girls, understand? So today, how many types of languages? 2 types. One is unstructured and did you understand the definition of function? What is the definition of function? Part of main program or subprogram of main program is called function. Advantages of functions, structured and unstructured, Tomorrow can I go for examples? Yes, syntax, remember. All these things I will post to you. So try to read that and come tomorrow class. But don't miss tomorrow class. Important sessions now. Functions are very, very important. Okay. The students in the online, did you understand, guys? Yes, ma. Abhishek. Actual parameters I will explain, ma. Don't worry. I will explain whatever I said. You understand? Right. 3 and 4 points missing. 3 and 4 points missing. Okay, really it is missing, na? 3 and 4 points are missing. Okay, that's true. Why 3, 4 points missing? Did I write or not? Numbering, huh? No. Numbering is not missing, plus content also, because I did not enlarge it. Okay, not a problem. Not a problem. I will add it and I will send to you. I described already what is a formal parameter. I will add it and I will send to you. Nothing to worry. At 1 o'clock, I will send you these notes. Okay? Right. Thank you. Good day. All the best.